afternoon, good evening, good morning, if you're here, folks. You may always join Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, you know what time it is. It's the first of the month. Grab your chicken, come on. Yes, folks, it is a new month. It is March. We are already 3 months into 2026. Can you believe it? Time is flying. It just seems like we started a new year. It's the third month. Folks, things are going on in the world. I hope everybody's doing fine. I hope all y'all are doing all right. Also, I want to give a shout out to a gentleman. He's planning on going out of town this weekend. This is my brother. My brother from another. I love him. He's my brother. My man David from Female Body Informed. As you know, he's announced he's going to be going to the Arnold Classic this weekend. Go check out the expo, travel, meet some people. Also, he hooked me up with this lovely lady right here. Also, me and David are also sponsors for the upcoming Triple O Dynasty. We are sponsored the jackets for the divisions. Me and him, that's from Bad Rap. That's from my sister Eunice. As you know, Bad Rap, the moniker is I wear the hat. I always see my sister say the moniker is big and defined, ripped and pumped. And we like the rip pump part. Like I said, again, I love my brother David. I appreciate it, but still, I got beats upon. He has held on my girl. I can't let it go, David. I love you. You're my brother. But you had your hand on my girl. I'm sorry. I gotta pull that back. I gotta let go. I told her I let it go, but sometimes every now and then a piece here. So we have here the lovely lady who I said get interview with my man David, the lovely IFB Physique Pro, Michele Kwapis, if I want to get a name right.
Kwapis, yes, Michele Kwapis.
Yes. Kwapis, all right. Man, I'm Southern. Sometimes we say things kind of funny than anybody else.
Yeah.
So Michele,
it's a Polish name. So I was Roberts. So marrying a Polish man with a Kwapis name, it was very hard to go from a normal name Roberts to Kwapis. But I've adjusted now, so I'm good.
Yeah. Roberts is it's a very American name, but Kwapis is it's out there. So Michele is again did interview with David. It's a great interview. Also, she competed just about can you believe it? Almost a few months ago at the Masters World Championship. She earned a pro card back in 2020. She's been keeping that show for a good while, and also she's planning on competing this year. So she'll share with us what show is going to be, and maybe give us a little more about her next plans for this year. So welcome, ma'am, and thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited for you to be here too. So folks,
thank you.
Yeah, so I'm asking you this, Michele, Shelly, if I may call you that.
My mom used to call me Shelly. So yeah, that's very appropriate.
Yeah. I know quite a few girls named Michelle. Either call Michelle, Shelly, or whatever. But anyway, what got you started in sport? As I call it, muscle and masculinity. Please share.
Well, I was a ballerina all the way through high school and through college. So that's what I did. And, it was all about being skinny and small. And once I graduated from college, I wanted to fill that void in my life. So I started teaching group fitness. And again, it was a lot of cardio. And then I had some kids, got married, had some kids, and then I finally came to this realization that this is not what I want. I want to take up space. I grew up in a generation like watching my mom with jazzercise and everyone wanted to be skinny. And it was just a different generation then. I'm so thankful for my girls growing up now in this era where women are valued for being strong and taking up space and being able to lift weights and eat food. And after I had kids, I was like, I want to do something that is for me. And so I decided in 2016 that I was going to kind of shift away from teaching group fitness and doing all the cardio and to start learning about weight training and lifting and doing all that. So that is kind of where I started.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has that start, like especially as you have children. Life kind of changes. They grow up. They're not as dependent on you those first few years. When they're babies, they always need mama for this. But then when they start getting to their, early teens, teenage years, says, "Mom, we don't really need that." But everybody needs their mother. My mother was a great lady. I loved her. She was the one who really inspired us children to want to be something more. So, what was that experience for your first competition, and what was the division you started in before you got into bodybuilding?
Yeah, I started in figure. That was my first competition in 2016, and that was here, a local show here in Kalamazoo. So I had no expectation, actually I enjoyed that first show because you don't really, it's kind of exciting because you don't really know and you don't have expectations on yourself. You're just trying to, you know, follow the process and enjoy the training and kind of get to that stage. And I did good. I won the overall, and I enjoyed my whole experience. And um, I think with bodybuilding, if you love the training, which I love to train, and I love the process, and if you can do those things, I think you can be successful in the sport. And I was fortunate enough to then go to another show to qualify for a national qualifier. So I won that show as well. And so from there, because I was older, I was already 40. So I was able to go to the Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh. And I started there in figure, where I didn't really have that X frame for figure. So I kind of placed, I think there was 24 of us in my first show there in Pittsburgh at Masters Nationals. And I think I placed 12th out of 24. And so with my coach talking, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I could stick in figure. I just don't have that shape. So she's like, let's try women's physique. So I fell in love with it. Fell in love with it. And I love the posing routines, obviously having a dance background, being able to, do the posing and things like that, and not having to wear those high heels, and just to be able to focus on getting stronger in your lifts and progression. And then I competed, let's see, um, three more times up until 2020. I think I placed fourth in women's physique, and then second, and then won my pro card at North Americans in 2020.
Yeah, I know figure it has a particular look to it where it's more of kind of a slender look. Have some ladies tell me you have that nice round, wide shoulders, a nice upside down Dorito shape where you have very
Yes.
narrow in the waistline. It's kind of like what physique is like, but still a little bit more mass and muscle. And the details is often different. And the one thing, yes, I've known quite ladies who switch from figure and bikini to physique because they get tired of those high heels. Those things.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, with the posing for figure, you really can't hide your I felt like I had like a blockier waist and things like that. So I didn't feel like I could really change that shape of mine. So I was like, let's just go into women's physique and see how we do there. So I think I found where I belong, and I've just loved it ever since.
Mhm, yeah. We have here, excuse me, we have a guest here, my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him. Excuse me, just popping in. He says, hello. Excuse me, hello. He says hello to him. Say hello back to my man.
Hello.
Also, he says, this is Michelle. I enjoy watching your workout reels. I'm having auditions for a fit woman like yourself to be in an action movie. I'm making you are the inspiration. My man Kale, he also does content on women on bodybuilding. He's more a fan of the women of muscle than he's just a sport. But yeah, I just started following Michelle on her YouTube channel. She puts some good content, guys. So if you want to follow her, the link's in the description of the live. You can follow her and support her. But you know my rules, guys. We'll get into that part later. So, okay, so you made a switch to physique. And it was because you critique because you did that was a team collegiate that was in the that's in Pittsburgh, that's run by Gary Udick. He was also running up this weekend the amateur Arnold this weekend.
Yeah.
And who was the judge that did you get judge feedback at that time, or you decided that you and your coach decided just let's go ahead and move over?
No, I did get feedback. Sandy was a judge when I did figure
Sandy Williamson.
yeah, that first time, and she did say I just really needed, my legs were overpowering my upper body, so I really needed to like get that X frame, to make my waist look tall, smaller. Really needed to like work on my shoulders, my lats, to pull those out, to make those bigger so I could get that X frame. So yeah, she was great. I mean, I think I could have stayed in figure. It just, like I said, I think it just would have taken me a different style of training to fit into that the criteria.
Yeah, but if you look at now the criteria, especially in the IFBB level, the women are getting a lot bigger,
Oh,
larger. I mean, you look at someone like one example is Jessica Padilla, who didn't have a dip in women's physique a while, some time ago. One lady who I had a fortunate opportunity to meet when I was in Tampa, and this was she was also a figure herself, but now she's number two in the world in women's bodybuilding, and that is Ashley Jones. And yeah, I look like a bear eating a little baby. So
I love her. I love her. I did some posing with her when I transitioned to women's physique when I got my pro card. She helped me with my routine, and she is just a blessing to the sport. I've watched her over the years, and she is just the sweetest, most genuine person, and love her to death. And she is great posing. I mean, she comes from that gymnastics background, so
mhm.
yeah, she was phenomenal. If anyone needs a posing coach or a coach, I mean, she's someone definitely that you'd want to reach out to.
Yeah, I know she has quite a few clients. I interviewed some of them recently. One lady whose her name is Shaquella O'Neal, who just got a pro card in nationals.
Okay.
I've even she's even gave me a shout out right after she won her pro card. I mean, won not pro card, won her second place at the Olympia. It was great for her to give me that because I appreciate that. But yeah, the levels have changed. Even if you're looking physique has changed. Where the women are, I'm looking at girls right now who could do women's bodybuilding. I mean, if you've seen recently, there was one lady who also met was in Tampa, named Mega Santa Barbara or Meg Borsa, Dr. Meg. She's right now off season sitting at 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think that's women, honestly, when I think about women's physique and I kind of compare it to the men's division, like men's open bodybuilding and men's classic, I really feel like we're kind of blurring the lines between women's bodybuilding and women's physique. I would love to see women's physique stay women's physique, right? We see a lot of women bodybuilders coming down to women's physique and having those really bigger physiques that really probably would fit more into bodybuilding. And it's like you said, it's really hard to say like which division you're in, women's physique or women's bodybuilding, because everyone's kind of looking really big now. So I don't know. I want to stay true to who I am and myself and what I want. And I know my coach now is really about health and longevity in the sport, and bodybuilding for me is just a hobby. I mean, I have a full-time career, I have kids, I have a family. I just do this for a hobby, and to get to, a level to grow bigger, I don't know if I can do that or want to be that big. So I don't know. I mean, I want to have muscle, but I also want to appear feminine and my health. And I feel like I want to represent the sport in a feminine and muscular way.
That's important. That I know that's always a big debate, especially women in the sport, to hold their femininity versus the muscularity of the sport. As athlete as you evolve over time, especially
Yeah.
when you're a mature athlete. Sometimes it's a lot harder to put it size because you're older. It's not the same when you're young. You're bush tail and bright eyed, and like one person who I also met who is a young lady herself is Paula Ranta,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's
She's
at
amazing.
she's another total level. But you got to think about it. She's 26 years old. What were we doing? What were you doing at 26?
Yeah, I was just starting my career. I mean, I wasn't even married yet, didn't have kids yet. I was just focused on my job and my career, I think, at that time when I was 26, and probably doing a lot of cardio, probably doing a lot of group fitness classes and things like that. So I wasn't even weight training at that time.
Me, I was holding down two jobs. I was working at a gas station, working at a textile plant. I was living with my mom. And
Yeah.
I had no kids. I don't have kids now either. But that's the thing is about life. And you talk about your career. What do you do for a living? What's that about?
I do sales. I work for a big pharma company. I've done that for 25 years. So love my job. I work out of my car pretty much. I call on hospitals, doctors' offices, health departments, things like that. And just really in the healthcare industry and helping people. And yeah, it's been a really blessing to have this job. I mean, I really enjoy it so much.
Yeah, well, appreciate that because I myself I took care of my mom. She was sick for a long time, and she's dealing with that. Myself also have issues. I have a pacemaker. I had it for almost
Oh gosh.
12 years. I got I got it when I was like not even 40 yet.
Oh
And
my gosh.
though, it's a necessary thing though, especially with people dealing with illnesses and stuff like that, mental issues, physical issues. We get older, the body just not is like we talked about Paula earlier. The body changes. Sometimes we need a little help. Something to help us. Like I got two bad knees, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, because years of working in concrete does not bend when you walk up and down on it. We have here another guest. Shout out to my man Josh from the female bodybuilding empire. He says, "What's good, George and Michelle? Not much, brother. How about you?" Also, my man KL. He says this. He says, "In your opinion, you don't need to be bigger. You look strong enough." But to each their own. Yeah, there you go, you guys. You got a little flex. You got a little flex. So put away your tissue, your lotion. You're good. So but yeah, because I think everybody has certain particular talents when it comes to the sport. They have a certain look to them, a certain way to grow. And thing also go back with bodybuilding is the issue of performance enhancers. And again, I've told often that it's not the main part of it. It's only that thing that helps maybe with your recovery, helps with your structure. It's not the be all be all. If you take like quite often, excuse my language, I might say this, you know, people tell me like George, I can take somebody can take the shit I take, but they're still not going to look like what I look like because if you don't train, you don't diet, don't be disciplined, and don't stick to a plan. Because as my other guy says, like this, he says, "I don't have a plan, Michelle. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what to do when I get one." So
Yeah, I think the training and the diet, I mean, those are what's going to drive you to grow. And time. I just think it takes time. I mean, everyone wants something in this world so quick and so fast. And especially for those younger athletes, I'll tell you, it took me 10 years to get here. And it takes like that consistency and that patience just to take the time. The stage will always be there. I mean, build your physique, take the time to love training and love eating and getting stronger in the gym and feeling all that and build that body before you feel like you need to get onto that stage because it's always going to be there. And it's, you're on there for what, 90 seconds, maybe not even that after you've been working so hard. So really focus on building the foundation first and then just building on top of that because it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, a lot of consistency. And for younger athletes, I think they want to look like an Olympian tomorrow, and it's not going to be like that. So you just gotta take your time.
yeah, that's the problem with younger people. They want everything quick, fast, in a hurry, and
Yeah.
nothing works like that. It takes time, takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes determination and patience.
Yes.
It's not gonna you. It's like this old saying: Rome was never built in a day. It takes time, and you got to value time. Also, if you're a young person, just enjoy life. Look at it not as this is a career. Look at this as a hobby, but it's a very expensive hobby. If you look at other sports, because if you look at other sports like football, baseball, basketball, you can make a living. There's
Yeah.
only a handful of competitors who are top of the game who can make a living from the sport. Everybody's is just going through the motions.
Yeah, I don't know honestly how younger athletes do this. I mean, like I said, wasn't until I was 40. I mean, I had a job and financially like successful and able to support this sport. But I mean, if you don't have the finances to support yourself, I mean, it's going to be a struggle because it does take a lot of number one time and a lot of finances to do the sport. I mean, it's like I said, it's a big commitment to do it and to do it the right way.
Yeah, because you know what? It's the thing is that if you understand, like this, people say they trust the process, but let's understand the process first before we trust it, because it's going to take time, money, investment. Especially when you want to be a competitor.
Yeah.
It's not easy for anybody to get into sport, especially we look at it again for a woman at a point, because here's like this society, women like yourself, like I said, like for guys, she's a beautiful lady. She's pumped, she's a beautiful lady. But society looks at this as a woman with muscle as something like it's an offense to them. It's like, you got all these muscles. Why you want to be so muscular? Why don't you be like a man? Why just be a lady?
Yeah, I don't listen to that anymore. I mean, some people make those comments, but I think for me that having muscle, being strong, and honestly, I just want to be a good role model for my kids, for my daughters. My daughters were both competitive gymnastics all the way through high school. They're in college now, and I am so blessed and so thankful that they are so comfortable in their skin. They get up in the morning, they go to the gym, they have muscle on their body, they eat good food, they understand that women can be strong, and it's been a blessing to watch them thrive, and I feel like kind of setting that
Hey,
stage for
folks, we
them
have
and
a little
showing them
technical
that
difficulties. I hope it's
it's
not my mic end.
okay to be a strong woman. I think I lost you.
Give you
Oh, okay, you're back.
yeah, I don't know. It must be some work going around this week because. But yeah, about your daughters, yeah. How old are your babies? How many you have?
I have three. I have a son who's 22 who just graduated and has his first job. And then I
Oh,
have two daughters. One is 21, she's a junior in college, and then one who's 19, who's a sophomore in college. So they go to the same school actually. So they're together. But like I said, they're amazing kids. My son, too, is an amazing athlete. He still trains and works out, does all that good stuff. Meal preps. I was talking to him yesterday, and him and his roommate were prepping meals for the week. So I just feel like when you're a mom and can role model that and show them that you can do this when you move away from home, it's such a good skills for them to have.
yeah. I know you're proud of your babies. They're about grown. One's
Yeah.
your little man. He's a big man now. And this is saying this: a boy's best friend is his mother. My
He,
mother. I love her. It's been like about at least about 6 years coming this summer since she passed. And you know what? You can never replace a mother. And here's what this proof is: it's the mother's job to teach a woman to become a woman. It's the father's job to teach a man to become a man. But always the number one person in our lives when it comes to a woman is our mother. Girlfriends and boyfriends pass away. And it's important that you teach your children, and also your husband what he's his values. And how long y'all been together?
oh my gosh, we've been married. It will be 24 years. 24 years in July. So, and we were together 2 years before that. So 26 years total. So,
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. My parents were together for 55 years, even though 30 of my dad was living in New Jersey while we're still down here in North Carolina. But yeah, it's good that y'all have a good relationship. I know he supports you and your body been in the past because sometimes I've talked to ladies where they get into sport because it's so extreme and the extreme nature of it kind of changed the relationship. Like I've known ladies told me that they got divorced because their bodies were changing. The guys didn't like what they were looking because they traditionally as men, we like our women to be soft and feminine, not rock hard and huge and bigger than us.
yeah, yeah, it definitely takes a special man, and I'm very blessed and thankful that he supports me 100%. So do my kids. I mean, my husband, my kids, they're my number one fan, and I don't think you can do this sport without a support system like that. You know what I mean? Like I can understand if your relationship wasn't solid, that it would be so hard and so stressful, especially in prep, when you're tired or hungry, and if your husband or kids aren't supporting that, I mean, it can be a big struggle. But I am very thankful. They come to my shows or watch it on the live stream, or are so proud of me. So I'm very fortunate, and I'm thankful every single day. Just grateful for the gift I've been given, my family, and the presence to inspire hopefully other women my age, that you're never too old, it's never too late, just to be a good role model. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. I just want women to be a good role model for their kids, their families, and taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, and being able to work out, because there's something to be said about when you go to the gym and can take 60 minutes for yourself during the day as a mom, you're going to be a better mom. You're going to be a better wife. You're going to be a better employee. Everything is going to be better when you feel good about yourself. So if you can work on the internal side of yourself and obviously it makes you look better too. I mean, it's a win-win situation. So I think any woman who, just can take some time and realize that they can take the time for themselves and put themselves first.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's important that you also spend the time with your family, also make yourself a priority. Because again, family can really wrap yourself. You can be just like who was watching. Someone says that. I remember an interview with a lady said that when she got in bodybuilding, it made her more than just being a mom. It made her somebody else, somebody different. It gave her a purpose because
Yeah.
again, your kids are pretty much grown out of the house. Just you and the husband. And you got to have something outside of that. Just not just be a wife or be a mom or work a job. This is something that gives you something to do. It's a path that you found, and you really enjoy your path. So, folks, we're talking to Michele here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna jump into her social media for a little bit. You want to check her out? The link's in the description of this live. You want to follow her, support her. That's most definitely. These ladies can use support because this is tough. This sport can be mentally, physically, emotionally, financially draining on anybody who gets into it. But support is most important and is also needed. But guys, and I know you guys out there, and I know Shelly's a lovely lady, and she's a buff lady too. And I know I have to mention my crime Shelly. I almost a pair smile. I find y'all ladies very exotic and look. I mean, but also be respectful, guys. She got a kid, she got a man. No weird stuff. I don't want to be hearing her husband be and her son be dropping elbows at somebody in the middle of the street. I mean, over their mom. So you might say that's a woman. So but be respectful. Reach out to your support because these ladies can really need it because this is tough. So, folks, we're jumping to social media for a little bit. We want to follow the links in the description and check her out. So here we go here. And also, you should do some training because, like I said, some of the stuff is on her YouTube. You can catch it too. What's the week like for you when you're training?
Oh gosh, I do a two a day. So I get up in the morning and I do my cardio in the morning. So I always do my cardio first. Like I only have 35 minutes now to do first thing in the morning, maybe do some stretching and some sauna in the mornings. And then I go to work and then I will definitely go back to the gym later in the day after I've had some fuel in my body, like 3 meals and some hydration and all that good stuff. And then I will go train in the afternoon.
Yeah. And what's your like when you're gym? What's your favorite thing to do? The first thing you want to do when you get in the gym?
When the first thing I want to do when I get in the gym, oh my gosh, this is from yesterday. It wasn't really a training, it was more of a just a ab day, kind of like recovery day. But first thing I love training any muscle group. So I love it all. So I actually will walk on the treadmill for maybe 10, 10, 15 minutes and really just not listen to anything and just kind of think about my training and kind of have that plan in my head. So I'd like to just focus on what my goals are for that day. So,
Yeah. So in training, what's your favorite training, and which the one you just I don't want to do this when I get here. I don't want to do
oh my
this.
gosh. Oh, that's really hard. I love back day. I love shoulders. I love legs. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite is probably like chest. Um, but other than that, I think everything is amazing.
Yeah. And you talk about you have a coach, and who's your coach now? Since you were with another coach, but who's your coach now?
Oh, my coach, he actually owns this gym that you see that I'm posing at. It's called House of Champions. His name is Mohammed Al Faraj, and he is a coach. And I've been with him for this is my third year. I just had to go to Houston, so I was in a hotel gym training right here. This hotel gym was amazing in Houston. They actually had dumbbells up to 100 pounds. I was shocked. So it was okay to actually have to train away from home for a week for work. So it was good. But my coach is amazing. He's taken me and my physique to a new level. I mean, when we first started working together, the first show I did, we were like middle of the pack. We did Masters World Pro in Pittsburgh, and out of I think it was 15, I was seventh. And then the next show we did, I went from seventh to second last year at Masters World Champion in Pittsburgh. So I stayed in that middle square all during prejudging. It was pretty amazing. So I felt like this is amazing. Yeah, I felt good. So we really did a great job being together for the past couple years.
And you compete in Masters, and you plead. I know it was the show that David mentioned. You were 50 plus, and I look at you, man. I'm 50, and I'm just, you make me look. I feel like I should be ashamed, because
Oh,
you're in great, amazing shape. Especially, we're seeing a lot of ladies who are coming into the sport later in life. I know somebody tell me like, "Well, I wish I got into early," but then I think it's about timing again with having kids and responsibilities. And then once the kids are grown up, and now you had that time to train and work out and to invest yourself in sport of bodybuilding. But again, I mean, wow.
yeah, honestly, I'll be 54 next month. So, not young by any means, but like I said, I think it's the masters, the women we compete with. I love it backstage. I mean, we're not really talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about grandkids, our kids, our lives. I mean, it's just a different atmosphere when you're backstage with all the masters competitors. I mean, I look at people like Robin Mays, who went to the Olympia and what was she, like 58? I competed with her in Pittsburgh. And when she told me she was a grandmother, I was like, oh my gosh, that's just amazing. And yeah, it's so inspiring.
Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Miss Mays a couple of years ago, and it was amazing for her to win her qualification for the Olympia at Toronto. She did that show last year. I interviewed the lady who won that show, no, not last year, 2024, when she did it 2024. I interviewed Tracy Guy, who won that year. I told Tracy, you have Olympia level physique, and she won her first qualification. And
Wow.
then Robin come back, and she's done pretty good for herself. I mean, I think she was the oldest woman at that show in that division because and to compete both in the open class and the masters class, holding your own with women who might be 20, 30 years younger than you, that's pretty good.
Oh, it's so inspiring. And so inspiring. Yeah, every time I see her, I'm so inspired by her.
Yeah. Here she did as I said again, she did a receipt from my brother David. David's a
Yeah.
great guy. She's doing a little flex for David. Shout out to David.
Yeah.
And here she is also. She lives in. You live in where you live at exactly?
I live in Michigan.
Ooh, I wouldn't want to trade it for the world. I'm happy here where I'm. And,
Yep, I live in Michigan. It's been a brutal winter. It was very, very cold. So we made the best of it, but we're getting through it, thank God. So, like you said, we're into March now. So hopefully we can get some nice spring-like weather coming up soon.
Won't
Yeah,
take
these are just
long.
some fun videos we did in the snow.
You're wearing short shorts.
Yeah. I think it was like I think it was like negative like 20 degrees that day. It was so cold too.
In my life, I never had anything go negative unless it's my bank account. That's the only time I know they're gone negative, negative, especially at the end of the month. Shout out here to my guests again. Shout out to my man here. Oh, shout my brother here. My brother, he says, Michelle is awesome, such a sweetheart. Thank you,
Thanks,
David. And
David.
again, David, as you know, David's going to be at the Arnold Expo that's coming up this weekend. Check him out. Shout out to him. We appreciate him. And I love David. But again, David, why you had your hand on my girl? I just, and, he knows I get, it's not Whitney Jones I'm talking about. I'm talking about Andrea Shaw.
I know.
I mean, she's just amazing.
She
I'm a fan
is.
of this lady. I want to tell you a sweet story. My friend Eunice, shout out to my friend Eunice. Eunice is also a master competitor. I got she to compete at the Tampa when she won 55 plus. This lady is 60,
Okay.
and you wouldn't
Okay.
believe it. And she, as again, she was a company Bad Rap. It was a couple of years ago. It was right a little bit before I think a little after my 49th birthday. She sent me this little gift,
Oh my
and
gosh.
and what makes
Unex
it, yeah, and what makes it precious about this little gift is that it's just this is what really fuels me, what keeps me going doing this content. With someone like the champ, 6 time, future 7 time Miss Olympia, tells me how much she appreciates what I'm doing.
Aw, that's
This is
amazing.
this is my fuel. This is my fuel. What keeps me going, keeps me following you, ladies, reaching out to you and share you stories. I would love to have her on day one of these our day. One of these, I would love to have her on here one of these days, but it's a dream. So, but can I dream? Can I?
Of course you can. And, she's from Michigan, so I could just like drive 2.5 hours to go train with her. So
I would just, I wouldn't know what to do. I act like a complete fool. Like I said, I did a little video on my IG, and I shared it. Was her, Carla Dunlap, and Linda Murray, and she took it and she reposted it on hers, and I was like,
awesome.
I mean, I was like, oh wow,
That's awesome.
yeah. Is anybody in the sport that you really respect, admire as a competitor?
I'm sorry, what is there a person?
Yeah,
Would you
anybody in the division in the sport, just anybody in general you really respect, admire.
yeah, Linda Murray for sure. I mean, she paved the way for us women. She's just a warrior in the sport as well as Andrea Shaw. I mean, those women, I think so many challenges against them, in women's sports like this early on, and to stick to what they believe in and to fight for us. I mean, that's amazing. And then Andrea Shaw, just so humble and so down to earth. And she's a person that you can tell is just wanting to give back and help people. And like that's what you want as ambassadors in the sport, or people who love what they do and love helping others and want to be role models for other women.
And one thing you can't help but she's party too.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's so sweet. I hear so many child talk about her. And Michigan, you have produced three Olympians, top
Yeah.
level Olympians, calling Linda, counting Andrea, and also Iris Kyle, who was one of the most dominant women in the sport. So many women. When I was coming up, for me, I came up in the good part of the '80s. It was people like Corey Everson,
Oh, yeah.
Carla Dunlap, Rachel McLesh. I also was fan of the guys, like Arnold when he was competing, Lou Ferrigno, Arnold and Lou. Remember they were on pumping iron, like sitting in the bus and they, trying to muscle each other. This is a sport that, even though it's not mainstream, there are people that are very recognized. And right now, in your division, you have a little issue. I don't want to get into too much details in it,
Yeah.
but it's a shame that two, like I would say, not much as two, but one lady, the tag has been on my channel before. She even commented in my lives a few times. I really
Oh,
appreciate that.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
appreciate what Sarah was doing before. Promoting shows like the Texas Pro, and
Yep.
put her money where her mouth is. But now it kind of just, I just,
Yeah.
I know you don't want to get too much into this, but we're just gonna blaze over it. We have here a comment here. Shout out to my man David coming through as always. He says this. He says Michelle reminds me of Sarah Piami in that she is a muscle mommy of three kids, and she wants to inspire women in their 40s and 50s to hit the gym. Yeah, because like one thing is muscle does help with your body because
Oh my.
it can help you. Not it doesn't stop time, it can halt it a little bit.
Oh, 100%. I think the more muscle you have on your body, the better you're going to age. I mean, I think it is a secret weapon, honestly. If you can build some muscle and, you know, I I just did my body composition yesterday and, I'm almost 54 and it said my body composition, it said I was 40. So if you can take like 14 years, off by just having muscle on your body, that's that's a win-win for me. So I would definitely, for women who think, there's a special secret, there's not. I think you just need to lift the weights. I mean, it doesn't have to be super heavy, but you just have to have some type of tension in those muscles to build something. You can't go in there and just do like pink dumbbells all the time, but get in there, do the work, learn how to train, and you will see your physique change and it will help you age much easier as you get older. So,
Well, I'm going to be 52 this year, and I feel like I'm
okay.
60. I feel like I'm 62. Just because I didn't really take good care of myself like I should too when I was younger. Like as a younger man, I was working two jobs. I was doing this, doing that, running around doing this, eating things that was, especially in the South. My mother was a good cook, and then also processed foods like that. what my mother was sick and took care of her, that was really because she was going through some medical issues,
Yeah.
and that's if you know anybody who's seen the the how it affects them when a family member, it can be stressful. And doing this content helped me with that. And then after she passed, I decided to now take care of me. At one point, I was almost 500 pounds. But
Wow.
then I started to do some things in, change my eating habits, do little exercises. Right now, I'm like around maybe 420. I could be doing a little better, but I got issues with my knees. I got two bad knees that Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that's the thing is just making those right choices. Eating healthy, exercising. You also do fitness nutrition. Have you ever thought about making that as also as a career? Because I know, especially in sport, there's always need for instructors and trainers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the nutrition piece is probably the most important, especially for women, because for so long, women don't eat enough food to fuel their performance in the gym. And I was one of them. I mean, my coach Mohammed was the one that is like, Michelle, if you want to transform and build muscle, he's like, you need to eat all this food. And I was like, I can't eat all that food. And he's the one that was like, yes, you can. And then you can start training better. Your body will start looking better. And you have to trust that process that food is fuel. And when you're eating really good, nutritiously dense food and pushing hard in the gym, you do start to see your body change and your body composition change. And I think to teach women how to do that, yeah, I love that. And anyone woman who needs help with that, please reach out. I'd be more than happy to help you learn about that because I mean, like I said, in my generation, my age, like my mom used to sit at our dinner table and drink a Diet Coke and not eat any food. And I was like, what's wrong with her? Like, you know what I mean? And that was just the generation we grew up. And then when I got to college being a dance major, I think I ate an apple and drank a Diet Coke like every single day. That's all I did. I didn't eat. I didn't know how to eat. And then you get into a sport like this and so many people, women, especially with eating disorders and not knowing how to fuel their body properly. And once you learn that, you feel like a superhero. You feel like a superwoman, like when you're eating to fuel your body for performance and for sleep and all that good stuff. I mean, you can definitely, number one, feel mentally healthy and physically healthy as well. And it's a win-win situation. So yes, I would love to help any woman or man for nutrition. Yeah, for sure.
Well, as a man, we appreciate any help we can get
Yes.
because and the thing is that I think people have to feel comfortable. Like my mother, she didn't eat like a bird. She ate like we what she cooked, she ate too. She we grew up country. We ate fried chicken and rice and beans, and
Yeah.
we ate pretty healthy. And that was one reason my mother was also diabetic. I'm pre-diabetic, and a couple of my sisters are also diabetic. Genetics also goes in the factory when you go into bodybuilding, and then with some women, if they feel like if I lift the weight, I'll be all big and bulky. I just, can I just do this little weight here and just, and maybe just do a little, like remember some Suzanne Summers who she had the, the little, those pseudo exercises they used back in the day.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that was the day when I think I was talking to David about it. It was like Jane Fonda and Tammy Lee Webb and doing all like jazzercise and stuff like that. I mean, women weren't really doing weights and stuff like that. We were doing all those like, group fitness things. I mean, it was fun and you were moving and stuff, but it really wasn't changing your body composition. So I think we've come so far and I'm so thankful and grateful for that.
All right. We have a shot from my man David. He says this. He says, it turns out that Ponce de Leon was just looking for a gym when he explored Florida because the gym is the fountain of youth. Yeah, quite a few competitors love the gym because it's like their second home, it's their church, the place they go. Especially remember during the pandemic, gyms were closed, so we had to find a
Yeah.
way to train. The shows were cut down. I mean, it's tough and it's a place like I used to go to a gym called Planet Fitness. I know it's not because y'all, it's not y'all. Yeah, I was going there for a good while until my sister gave me her old car and I was driving a good bit. And then it broke down on me that club hopper. I love my sister, but it was, and you got to find a place that works for you. Like when I started home, and then eventually I went to the gym. I'm right now. I don't have a car to get around, but I'm starting home again. and maybe when I get the opportunity, I'd like to go back to the gym where I can train, work, and also, it's an opportunity to make camaraderie with people that share your passion. Here we got here from a man, Panther, coming through. Appreciate you, brother, coming through. He says, "Hey George and Michelle, hope you all are having a great Monday. We have a great one, because this is Muscle Talk Monday 280. I have here a guest. So now, what's the plan for 2026?"
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, I decided, me and my coach, we are going to do the Chicago Pro, the Masters division. So I've never done that show. That's July 17th and 18th, I believe. So it's like 20 weeks out. So we're just like starting prep. So I'm excited about that. Chicago is only like 2.5 hours away from me. So it's easy drive, and I'm excited about that show. And then we'll probably go back to Pittsburgh and do Masters Worlds again. Really like that venue, like that show. So we'll see how we do in Chicago, and then we'll decide if we're going to do Pittsburgh as well. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for right now. Um, I I love the process. I love every single day to just get up and check my boxes and get everything done and plan ahead. And, I travel a lot for work. I'm in my car. I'm actually going to Florida next week with my girls for spring break. I just want people to understand that this sport you can do and you can have a life too. Like, you don't have to, if you're in prep, don't think like, oh my God, I can't do anything. Like, you can. You just have to understand that there's a balance. You just have to pack your food. I just came back from Houston. I packed all my meals 100% on track the whole time. Like, never ate anything off my plan because I had everything with me. I didn't need anything. It makes you feel so good when you can do that. And it's just, like I said, it just takes some planning ahead and the time and the dedication to do it. Most people aren't dedicated enough to do that. So you just have to really think about what you want for the future, not what you want today. Because many people today want, the quick fix, or, stay in their bed when it's cold or raining or not go to the gym. But you got to think about what your goals are. And if you can focus every single day on what it is that you truly want, it will inspire you to take those steps of action to get you there.
Yeah, well, I know those days, especially I got arthritis. Those that cold days, I don't want to go nowhere. My bed is my lover, and I
Oh,
just don't want to
yeah.
leave her. But yeah, that's important to have dedication, because it's not easy for anybody to. One thing I had learned doing this content is I had to learn to get out of my own way. That's
Yeah.
one thing you have to learn. You have to be able to be comfortable being uncomfortable, making decisions, making choices, being consistent, and following a plan and a diet. And a shout out to the Chicago Pro, even though I got to meet the gentleman personally when I went to Tampa, the Tim Gardner who promotes that show, and he's having Tampa. We're about to be back in Tampa, but not at Chicago. I would not watch that show. I would talk about supporting it as he walked quietly behind the division, stabbing in the heart. Quote from one of my favorite, my master Ra's al Ghul said. But yeah, and spring break, you do that every year. Like what's that like? You and a bunch of ladies, and can we see you in a little teeny bikini, all pumped up, and
Yeah, this is, my girls were, like I said, were gymnasts in high school, so I never really got to take them on a spring break. So I'm really excited that I can take them this year, on their spring break in college, because they were always competing or having practice or something during high school. So we never really got that opportunity. So yeah, we're just gonna go down to Florida, and I just can't wait to like get my steps in on the beach, and there'll be a gym there. So we have a kitchen to make our food. So we're gonna do some bike riding and just relaxing for a few days. So yes, I will post some pictures in a bikini on my Instagram or YouTube channel so you guys can see that.
Yeah, you get to see it, but you girl would say, "Mom," and these guys all look say, "Wow, who's that?" Say, "That's your sister?" "No, that's our mom." "That's your mom?" "Yeah, okay. Can we talk to you, man?" I mean, we just like, "Oh, you're married? You know what? You're not married today." Yeah, because the thing is, men, like, this is the thing. I as a fan, you ladies, I hear one side of it when it comes to women with muscle. Some men, as I said again, find it offensive. See women with muscle, but other guys like myself, we find it beautiful. It's just changing the aspects of what's considered feminine, and seeing how y'all ladies grow and develop. People like Andrea, people like Ashley, people like so many other ladies in your sport, and different levels as we go back before. As we look at it, like you look at the women from women's bodybuilding to physique to women in figure to bikini wellness. There's a new division coming out. It's called, excuse me, fit model. I mean, I have nothing against it. A lady I interviewed a while back, she had a pro card a while back. She's a great lady. I met her when I was in Tampa. But I feel like this: when you bring in a division, it's going to change like any other sport. This thing is, as men, we want you women to stay the same, but the thing is, it's not going to stay the same. You're going to change and grow over time.
Yeah, I know the reason for it. We want to grow the sport, and I think it's an awesome entryway for women to be able to be on stage and compete. And, um, not my cup of tea, but if women want to do fit model, I mean, I have nothing against it. I just, like I said, I think there's an opportunity for everybody in the sport if you want to compete at the fit model division, which is totally different look than a woman bot of, or physique. So it's just what you want, you know? And I think as far as men, the one thing that I want to say is that, we just want respect, I mean, this is a hard thing for women to do is build muscle and be comfortable in our skin and what we do. And I appreciate everyone who does support women in their physiques and bodybuilding. And like I said, I just think that there are some men who, can be kind of mean, and just keep your comments to yourself, and most of them probably weaker than most of us. So when they make those comments, I'm kind of like, mm, maybe they just are insecure about their masculinity. So, but anyway, God is good. He created all of us in our own unique skin, and we just need to respect and love each other for what they look like and what they want to be. We all have different goals, and that's okay.
Yeah, I was told God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. I was raised in
Yeah.
church also. He gives us our free will for
Yeah.
us to make the decisions what you want to do. If you don't like something, here's the thing: is don't have to say nothing. Mind your business. Keep your mouth shut. Move on. If someone
Yeah.
else like it, don't. If you have an opinion on it, that's your opinion. Everybody's going to have what they feel like about something, especially if something that's very extreme like bodybuilding. And we go back to again how the sport can be very expensive. The travel, the cost, you got to pay your coach, you got to pay the entry fees when you go to because it's an amateur. As a master competitor, you have to pay to play. You can do open because you don't have to pay. You just come in. You might feel like you feel like you're a Lilliputian, like Gulliver's Travel. We compete with some of those women, but still, it's a great opportunity to rub shoulders with some of the top competitors. And also, instead of getting enjoyed the opportunity to talk with some people, special ladies back there, share their interest in
Yeah.
common knowledge in bodybuilding. I know quite a few ladies like yourself who have kids who got into sport because they found it's a passion. And the expense of the sport, as I said again, is that your suits right there. That's your cost. That's a rent, car note, mortgage, the
Yeah.
travel to the shows, the food, the coaches, and then for you ladies, show days your biggest expense. Now, guys have their expense doing prep, but guys got wear a pair of banana hammocks and boy shorts and put on a tan. That's it. You ladies have to present both muscularity and femininity. You must have a look to you, hair done, your nails done, your eyelashes together. You have to be
Yeah.
on fleek. And that's one of the things that I think should be recognized that maintaining both beauty, femininity in sports seems very masculine.
Yeah. I think show day is probably, well, it's probably, I will tell you, it's probably my least favorite day and my most favorite day. I love the glam. Like I am a girly girl. You can tell, pink nails, and I like to put the makeup on and do the hair and all that good stuff. But the sitting and waiting, and you know what I mean? It's a long day. That's probably my least favorite part. But like doing the hair and the makeup and feeling like a princess is wearing your beautiful suit with all your crystals on it and stuff. You do feel very feminine and pretty, and you've worked so hard to show off your physique that you want all that, your tan, your makeup, your hair, all to accentuate your physique. So when all that is done and brought together in an awesome package on stage, you feel like $1 million.
Yeah, yeah. He said he feel like $1 million. I feel like 10 cents right now. So but yeah, that's the thing. You gotta respect that passion for it. It's everything to this. But there's also the side to it that people, for us, who go to shows, like your family's out there, you're cheering on you, but don't understand that the what you have to go through, the hydration, the tired, the hungry, the day before the show, when you have to really try to keep up a strong appearance, even though this is where you're probably at your weakest point, where you're tired, you just really want to say I want to sleep, but you got to go out there, and as my other guy would say, you have to go with a smile.
You do. And I think as I've been in the sport for a while, I've gotten better at that. I think the first time you go through a prep and like getting close to stage and what it feels like, it's pretty hard the first couple times, but I think as you do it more, you realize it's part of the process and you actually are like, oh, I got this. Like I know exactly what my body is doing. You mentally, I think your mental game is so much stronger as you mature in the sport that you learn that those feelings are just temporary. You're tired, you're hungry, you're thirsty, whatever. I mean, it's all for that final moment, right? And if you can keep that in your focus, that you want to have that best presentation on stage, that all the tiredness and hunger and whatever, it's just a fleeting moment and you'll feel better soon. So you just gotta grin and bear it for a little bit. And you just gotta put on that smile on your face. And just, I think if you always have that feeling of gratitude that you're able to do the sport, because it is a privilege to do the sport, you don't have to. It's a choice. So if you can do it with gratitude and grace, then you are in a much happier, better place than feeling like, this you're miserable and everyone around you make it miserable. That's not a good situation. You wanna just focus mentally that it's gonna be tough, but it makes you stronger. It makes you able to say, "Hey, I did this," and bring it on. Anything that's challenging my way now, I can do anything. If I can do this, if I can get in a suit, in a bikini on a stage, at a pro level stage as an athlete, I feel like I could do anything that I'm asked to do. So,
Yeah, because that thing is, it's that part of the dedication to the sport, and also the determination, the persistent, the discipline as being a
yeah.
bodybuilder. Because most people wouldn't do what y'all do.
No.
Most people wouldn't get up out there in the stage, be nearly butt naked in front of a crowd with lights shining on you, and But then again, we see those amazing bodies and the work it puts to get there, and the dedication it takes. Again, and those guys out there who are issues. Here's something like this: if a man don't like something, hey, that's unsaid. But if you have an issue with this, then that's on you. Something wrong with you. You either got sugar in the tank, or you just you're a weak man. I'm not a weak man. I'm all man. So so one thing I ask you, ladies, and this is especially coming from a fat man, especially after the show. Share with me, Michelle. Share with me that thing that you want to desire, that thing that, as I say with this, the thing that makes you stranger, but make you stronger. Where's that thing after that long prep, after the last show, after that thing that you really wanted, that thing that was calling your name?
Oh gosh, I'm really not a foodie person, so I don't really. Uh, and maybe this is just because I've done this for 10 years, is that I don't really do like I need a Rice Krispie treat or I need cookies or donuts or any of that sweet stuff. I don't. I feel like I want to feel good the next day. So I just want hydration. I know my coach is all about like, getting in your water and getting in a little bit of food, but I mean, there's really nothing. Honestly, I just like to chill with my husband after the show. I think last year we watched a football game. Like we didn't even go out. I think we just stayed in the room and I think watched a football game and yeah, it was just chill.
Oh, she spent the night with her man.
Yeah.
Stand by your man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were the
And
kids
take a
there?
shower. Like after that tan and stuff, you just honestly for me, I just want to shower. I mean, because you haven't like had deodorant on and that tan and you've been yeah, you just want to shower.
I remember when I was a kid, my family was sharecroppers, and we were working. a field, and my sister, she lived like a few miles, so we went to her house, and I was working. It was hot, sweaty. I'm caked up with mud and stuff on me, and I took that shower, and it felt so good. I mean, when
Yes.
that water hits you, because our house was really far, far away, but my sister was a little closer, so I took that shower. I felt like, now, yeah, I hear the stories about because we put in a tan because of the pH balance and stuff like it, because it can affect you. Can't use lotion, you can't use any kind of under in it. It's gonna kind of ripe back there, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And you tan the night before and you have to take your own sheets and your towels and can't sit on anything. And it's that whole process is, I mean, not my favorite of competing, but it's part of the process to make sure you look good on stage because that tan can make or break you, right? I mean, you've seen what it's like when someone has a tan that's not good. It just, I mean, you've worked so hard and then your physique doesn't shine on stage because of the bright lights. And if your tan isn't dark enough, then I mean, I feel so bad for those people who've worked so hard and if they don't, I mean, some people don't want to spend the money and they'll try and do their own tan. And I'm like, oh gosh, spend the money, get the professional tan done so you look like everybody else on stage.
I remember one time one lady told me what she did was she took dryer sheets and put it on her armpits because she take because you don't worry about any kind of chemicals or anything that helped her from not like whoo. Ew.
Yeah,
We got here my man David, shout out to my man David, he says he says bodybuilding shows bring the stink. Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, it's true. There's some guys out there. As again, I am part of the Mercer Perry communities, Michelle, and we don't care if we just be seeing your muscles and you smelling, we just get excited. I'm sorry about that. I try to he's cheap every now and then. I try to keep him in control, but yeah, it's a lot of work and timing. What would you say, as competitive, would you need to hit that next level? Because I know you're doing mostly Masters 40, 50 plus. Would you ever think about, I think next year is going to be the Masters O. Would you ever think about doing 40 plus and try to get a qualification or just stay in your lane?
Well, actually, David kind of started talking to me about that. And I was like, I didn't really think about it. And then when he was asking me about it, it kind of put that idea in my brain. And I always like a challenge. So I don't know. Yeah, if I could win a 40 and up show to qualify, I mean, yeah, that would be an amazing goal to do. And it's not out of the question. I think I have the dedication. I just need to, yeah, I think if I just stay the course and do what I've been doing, that it's a possibility. So I think anything's possible, right? You just got to put in the effort and the work and believe in yourself that you can do it. So I believe I can do it. I just gotta get myself there.
hmm We have here one guest has seen my nephew Alex coming through. He's not my nephew, but I call him my nephew Alex coming through. He says, "Hey George, hi Michelle, how are you?"
Good, we're good.
Also, my man David says, "Masters." Oh, I mean, quite a few ladies I've interviewed. Some of them like did the Masters. One lady who won last year for women's open, was Tiana Flex. Also, lady took second place. I interviewed her when I was in Tampa, Susan Grams. Some of the ladies, when you
Yeah.
look at them, you wouldn't think they were 40 in their 50s. They're just, again, this sport can really make you look a lot younger than you're supposed to. Like you said, again, you had your little assessment and you said you're at 40 something, you're 40, but you're 50 something, but you've got a body of a 40-year-old.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's what muscle can do for you. So, ladies, don't shy away. Put on that muscle.
Yeah, that thing is very. Don't be shy. Go in the weight room. You don't have to. No one asked you to be like Michelle. No one asked you to be like Andrea Shaw. Just take the time. Push away from the cookies and when change. Here's the thing: it's a lifestyle change
Yep.
about eating healthy, training healthy. It does help. It stays your life a little better. Because I tell you the truth, I have issues because of this and genetics and all stuff like that. And I'm trying to be smart with it. I'm not going to be perfect. That thing is the discipline is the most important part of it. Not everybody has a discipline. Like you said earlier, how if it's like you're up there in Michigan, you have snow and stuff like that, you still go to the gym. Most people, if it snows here, see, I'm in the South. And to quote my other guy, like, it's if it snows half an inch here, everybody goes crazy. But up north, and y'all, when it snows, y'all like, eye. Oh, yeah. And Shelly, before I let you go, I want to tell you something. Oh, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about him. I'm trying to keep him under control.
Well,
So
thank you.
yeah, and my man David, he can't help himself. That's his girl. He says Susan Graham Matheson is party. She is. I got to talk to her, and she's a pretty good lady. So we're not gonna hold Michelle too much longer, and we appreciate the time she gives us this interview. She knows she's gonna do Chicago in another 20 weeks. You
Yep.
know, great show. I was hoping maybe to go there one day, but said again, it doesn't have women's bodybuilding. I'm not. No,
Yeah.
women's bodybuilding is my favorite division. I support that division. And I support your division too. At first, I wasn't a big fan of women's physique. I called it down women's watered down bodybuilding. But over the time, I've interviewed ladies like yourself who are
Yay.
mothers, who are wives, who are athletes. I respect your passion and your drive for the sport. That's why I reach out to these interviews. I mean, again, I would love to have Andrea here one day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do. I'm trying to control my hands, but this is about yourself as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and as an athlete. That's what you are, athlete.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I feel blessed and honored to be an athlete and to represent women's physique up on stage. And like I said, I just want to inspire other women my age to lift some weights and just to take some time to understand that muscle's good. And I know that our generation now, we're raising really strong women. So we want to raise them and we want to be a role model for them. So yeah, just find a way to be comfortable in your skin and to embrace that muscles and taking up space and not being a tiny little person is a good thing.
Hmm. And one thing is, are you a sponsored athlete?
I am not a sponsored athlete, so if anyone is interested in sponsoring me, I'd be happy to talk.
Yeah, that's the thing is, sponsorship does help. It covers the cost of travel, cover the cost of food, coach, everything involved in it. Posing suits. If you're someone who is a posing suit, company, you want to sponsor her, that's good. But this is what we don't want. We don't want these guys saying, "Hey, Shelly, I saw your last video. I like your videos. I like your little punk muscles. You get me excited." No, you sick freak. Stop it. This is what you're supposed to say, Mrs. Kwapis. Uh, we love to offer you opportunity. You are in the business world. You understand how business works, how things work. So we're wondering if you might be interested in being part of our company and maybe be a brand ambassador. It's something to help your progress. We don't want nothing more from you for us to see you grow as an athlete. So, ma'am, if you feel like this is a product is something that's comfortable for you for the use, and you feel like it's something that represents you and your beliefs and your ideals as a female bodybuilder, we'd like to help sponsor your next upcoming show. So
Yeah.
let us know if you feel like this is something that you might be agreeable with.
Yeah, I would be honored. So, yeah, please.
Sign the contract, baby. Yeah, but yeah. So this is my last question for you. What would you want for yourself out of bodybuilding towards your future?
Um, I would like to know that I did this for me and that I was a role model for other women and that I did it because it was something that I'm passionate about and it gives back to me in so many ways, that it not only makes you beautiful on the outside, it makes you a beautiful person on the inside, and there's just something different about women who are bodybuilders. We're wired differently. We have this passion, this desire to take on challenges and to try to, I don't know, just kind of break through that ceiling, right? That has held women down and not so it's not just bodybuilding, it's anything I do in my job or, you know, helping my girls find their way in this world or my son or whatever. Just I think that's what bodybuilding does. And it gives you a platform to be unique to who you are and to create a physique that you love. all our physiques are definitely different, and just being able to create that physique that makes you feel beautiful on the outside as well as on the inside.
And like my other half says, women like you are beautiful. And you know what? It's good that you, as a woman, teach your daughters to be a better woman. And also, you know, being a mother of a son, we love our mothers. My mother was my woman, you know, and I miss her every day. And she really going through. I remember sometimes, you know, because sometimes we be sitting around because you know we have breakfast together, we joking. I said, "Mama, ain't I a man? Mama, ain't I a man?" She said, "No, you my baby. I'm a man, Mama. I'm a man." And
Yeah,
it's good that you have your husband in your corner because it can be tough doing this sport because you know the sacrifice, the investment you put into it. Sometimes you can't spend time with your family and friends like you used to because you got to go to the gym, got to go get it up in the morning, go to the gym. You have to do this, you got to do that. You know, and sometimes friendships changes because you're getting something that's people may not understand.
yeah,
The thing is, it's if you understand it, support you. I mean, you don't have to like, you don't have to love it, but it's something you found you love.
I
And
do.
yeah, and again, what we who go to these shows. Like I've been to a few, a couple of since I started this content. I'm planning on going one, in a few months because I want the opportunity to meet you ladies, hear your stories, share with people, let them know that you're not just these women with muscles. You are the every woman. It's just something different. You're not the, like the June Cleavers, vacuuming in your high heels and in a dress. You're an athlete and you found something that really excites you, something that you engaged into it, and just understanding the aspects of it. Again, we go back to this that we go to shows, we see these bodies, these amazing fit bodies, but understand the dehydration, the tired, the consistency that took you to get there. And it's good that your kids are there, your husband there, they're supporting. Say, hey, that's my wife, that's my mom. But then
Yeah.
guys, you got the weird guys say, hey, that's your mom, yeah, that's your wife. I want mine. Hey, I've seen pictures of your boy. He can probably take out a truck by the looks of him. But it's good that you found something that you enjoy and you have those people in your corner and you're willing to teach people that because that's what we need. We need people like myself, like you and David, who wants to share the fact that this is not just these big, steroid head that I can. No, you are an athlete. You're dedicated to something, and you have a purpose that you have found in this sport.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me tell my story. And I am here if anyone has any questions or needs any help. I'm always willing to help and be an advocate for anyone who wants to learn more about the sport.
Well, with me, this really was after my mom passed. I really invest myself into this. That's why I want to be an advocate for you, ladies. I want to share your stories.
Yeah.
My man David, he's one of the guys that really
Yeah.
inspired me. It was great to hang out here when we was in Tampa. Hope we can do something together in the future. He's been on a guest on here. My man KL, shout out to my KL, who's also he's more a fan of the women muscles, not much as a sport, but he's learning. Shout out to my kid Alex. He's a really good kid. All these other guys out here who support, who came here because they're fans. My man Panther also, and who are fans of you ladies, respect your commitment, who respect your determination, and respect your consistency. Because again, this is not a sport for everybody.
Yeah. And we appreciate all the support. So thank you so much.
Well, for me, from them they say welcome. For me, I quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul, my master, the demon's head, told to Bruce Wayne, he says on this, the quote is, "You never have to, because this is what I do. I appreciate it. When you say thank you, I appreciate it, but you never have to. I really appreciate it." This is my man Alex. It says, agree, George. Thank you, 100%. And also, my man, David says, I like them muscle ladies. There you go, David. You got your little flex. That's all he wants. Because this is one thing I don't do. I don't ask flexes. If you give them to voluntary, I appreciate it. Thank you for that. But you freaks out there, I know, because I'm one of you. I know he get excited to see these ladies. But we can't wait till we see her, how she, and maybe when she's on her vacay with her girls, we may get some more of her. Stay calm, stay calm. So just okay, so again, folks, I'd like to appreciate y'all for coming through. We want to shout out Michelle. Wish her best of luck in Chicago.
Thank you.
I hope she does well. Maybe she does the 40 plus, maybe get her. Because was hoping, one thing I'm hoping they do have the Masters O in the States. Because I know talk to some ladies after that, it was
Yeah.
Then the promoter, he got fined because Jake, I got shot to him. Anytime I say his name, I got shot out. Yo, Jake, I got that money. I want that gun. Shout out to Jake Wood, what he did step up.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. My man David, he has to say this. He says, thank you. He says, great flex. Yeah, that's all you want to see, David. You don't have to flex anymore. No, not for David. That's enough for you, David. You get enough of it, David. Calm down. Calm down. Get excited out there. So, folks, we'd like to thank the lovely Michele for coming through. Wish you all the best of luck in the couple future. And let's hope that 2026 is your year.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all of it.
All right. Anyway, folks, I'd like to thank you, my guests, for coming through. This is Most Talk Monday 280. Check me out. We have another thing coming up next Monday. Also, we have some upcoming interviews. Also, again, me and my man David are sponsoring the Triple O Dynasty jackets for the ladies who are winning their divisions. Check out my man David. He's going to be at the Arnold Classic Expo. Reach out to him. Go one-on-one with the great one. We have to thank again the lovely IFB Physique Pro, Miss Michele Kwapis, for coming through. All the best of luck in the future. And shout out to your kids. I hope they have it. And again, remember, respect this page. Reach out and genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy. Anyway, folks, see me all the way to your page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, subscribe. Good night, good luck, God bless, and see you next time.